You've called women you don't like fat pigs, dogs, slobs, and disgusting animals. Your Twitter account...
Only Rosie O'Donnell.
So he held a press conference right before The View went on live, and he said, just want you to know I've forgiven her, and this young woman... I'm like, what is he, the pimp? And she's the prostitute?
Rosie O'Donnell has been labeled many things. Overbearing, divisive, overwhelming. For 2 decades, Donald Trump made it his mission to go after her, threatening legal action, targeting her family, and looking for every possible way to shut her down. The woman he spent 20 years trying to silence would emerge in 2025 as the most unfiltered voice in the country, saying out loud what most Americans were only thinking quietly. Not a lawmaker, not a military figure, not a journalist with a network platform. A stand-up comedian from Long Island who simply would not be quiet.
He's a liar and a fraud and a fake, and if you grew up in New York, you knew that. You know, he never could get on the Forbes richest men in the world list because they couldn't quantify his income because he's such a liar. And then Mark Burnett gives him this whole entire show and sold it as truth when it was fiction. And America believed it.
Donald Trump posted on Truth Social that he was actively considering revoking Rosie O'Donnell's citizenship. He branded her a danger to mankind. He suggested Ireland should take her in. The sitting president of the United States threatened to strip a natural-born American of her birthright. Not because of a crime, not because of treason, but because she criticized him online.
This is not North Korea. This is not a monarchy. Donald Trump and no precedent has the authority or jurisdiction to unilaterally take anybody's citizenship away.
Those were Ana Navarro's words on The View. And she was correct. Under the 14th Amendment, it is constitutionally impossible. A sitting president has no authority to revoke the citizenship of someone born on American soil. Period. Rosie posted a 10-minute TikTok. No teleprompter, no production crew, no media handlers, just her sitting down and speaking plainly about what she observed. She said Trump appeared mentally unfit, that his cognitive decline was accelerating, that she believed he was experiencing congestive heart failure, not as a political attack, but as a personal observation.
The situation that we're in, and the man driving the bus with 80 million of us on it has frontal temporal lobe dementia. And major doctors have said this, and scientists and people have diagnosed him based on years of experience. No one's making up the way he stands. No one's making up the way his brain is malfunctioning. Everyone is simply witnessing it and then getting in trouble if they talk about it. It's willful blindness, Jim. Willful blindness. He's seriously ill. He is deranged, and I believe he's suffering from dementia and some very serious medical complications, which looks like congestive heart failure to me, because my brother had that and his ankle swelled and he got bruises on his hand.
That is not a joke. That is a woman describing a pattern she recognized from watching someone close to her deteriorate from illness. Then she pointed out something the mainstream press had not stated clearly enough. Trump had vanished from public view for 6 full days, completely silent during a week when significant court decisions were handed down. Rulings that should have sent him into an absolute fury. The courts ruled against him, and he said absolutely nothing.
Oh, then he disappeared for 6 days. That was not normal, while the judges came down with some rulings that would normally make him go batshit crazy. And he said nothing for 6 days, and...
Rosie was not simply venting her frustration. She was constructing an argument. And it had 3 distinct parts. First, the threats are hollow. Trump has been coming after Rosie for more than 20 years. Lawsuits that were never filed, legal action that never materialized, and now citizenship revocation, a power he simply does not hold. 20 years of threats, 0 results. At some point, that pattern stops looking like intimidation and starts looking like an admission.
Wake up.
Yeah.
Wake up. Our president is a serial pedophile rapist, and that's what he is. And in America, you're allowed to have an opinion. You're allowed to say what you think. That's what our country was founded on.
Second, the anger is revealing. Every time Rosie opens her mouth, Trump reacts within hours. When she appeared on Jim Acosta's program and described him as a cruel, criminal, and mentally unstable individual, he was posting about her before the interview had even cooled. A man who commands the most powerful office on the planet, who holds nuclear launch authority, who leads the military, who can invoke the Insurrection Act, cannot stop himself from rage posting about a comedian at midnight.
And this is all in his plan because he doesn't care about any of us. Any of us besides himself. I don't even think he cares about his own family. I really don't. The way that he functions in the world is a man without empathy.
Third, the campaign to silence her is itself the evidence. Colbert got cancelled. Kimmel received threats. Media corporations are settling lawsuits and trading editorial independence for regulatory approval. Rosie laid it out plainly. This has nothing to do with poor ratings. This is about what happens when a government begins deciding which voices are permitted to exist.
A good president right now, a normal president, will be looking for a way to de-escalate the situation, but not our Donald. He turns the temperature up on everything but his wife. He keeps claiming the protesters are paid, although they never say by who. They keep saying they're going to get to the bottom of who's paying these protesters. They can't seem to figure that out. The idea that anyone would do anything.
And then did not call the National Guard to come help people. And people died and got hurt. That is on him. And his assassination attempt, a man died during that assassination attempt. Yeah. A man died.
Yeah.
And it wasn't him.
Yeah.
And his ear miraculously healed. Ladies and gentlemen, will anyone in the news ever say that without couching it? Yeah. His ear miraculously regenerated.
When a president moves to deport a comedian, he is not projecting power. He is revealing his cards. Because if the statements were false, if Rosie were simply noise, just another loud voice in a saturated news cycle, the correct response is to ignore her entirely. Let it fade. Let the 24-hour cycle swallow it whole. Instead, he went to Truth Social and threatened to strip an American citizen of her citizenship. Which means the statements hit home.
Because what's happening is not only happening to Democrats, it's happening to everyone. And when the Medicaid cuts go in, old people are going to start to die. To die. What he's done yet hasn't even hit us yet. Right. And if he's not stopped now, we have lost our country.
In Minneapolis, in negative 22-degree weather, tens of thousands of people filled the streets. Clergy assembled at airports. Teachers, pastors, teenagers, people who had never attended a single protest showing up because something deep inside them said, this is the moment. Not because Rosie O'Donnell instructed them to. But because when a president deploys troops into an American city, invokes the Insurrection Act against his own citizens, and threatens to exile someone for speaking freely, ordinary people recognize it for what it is.
Why won't they ask him? This man needs people to stand up to him. Every person who faces him has to challenge him. You acquiesce to this kind of a villain and the country is over. My therapist said, why are you so upset? And I said to her, why are you not?
Yeah.
A man who mistakes attention for respect. Who confuses fear for loyalty. Who labels a comedian a threat to humanity while signing off as President DJT, as though anyone else would write it that way. Rosie O'Donnell did not hold firm because she was furious. She held firm because she found clarity. And there is a meaningful difference between those two things, one that the next 24 months will make unmistakably clear. The insult did not land. The threat did not land. The citizenship revocation did not land. Because you cannot silence someone whose voice has already reached everywhere.
You know, listen, I don't really go for trying to nickname someone. I try to shame him for who he is and what he is with facts. And that's what makes him so crazy. He's been threatening for 20 years to sue me. You can't sue someone who...
Listen, I don't really go for trying to nickname someone. I try to hold him accountable for who he is and what he has done, using facts. And that's what makes him so unhinged. He has been threatening to sue me for 20 years. You cannot successfully sue someone who tells the truth about you. And she keeps talking. The question America is wrestling with right now is not whether Rosie O'Donnell is correct. The question is whether the rest of us will give the same answer she has. Why aren't you outraged? Share this if you believe that question deserves one.